to the Lunchbox TV. I'm Rebecca, aka Quirkyowl Cosplay, and we have a wonderful little cosplay segment for you today with my fantastic guest, Cray Cosplay.
Hello, how's it going?
We're doing great. Thanks for asking.
Fabulous.
So we're doing our lovely little interview today. We're going to be asking Cray Cosplay some questions about her perspective on the cosplay community and entering into it and what she likes to do. So we're going to get right into it.
Amazeballs.
So first and foremost, who is Cray Cosplay? Give us a little bit about like you and your cosplay, who you are, and how you came up with the title of Cray Cosplay for your cosplay name.
Yeah, sure. So Cray Cosplay is me. I guess like I just like make things. Like I really like fabrication. I like really like big armor builds. I just like cosplay. I like makeup. I kind of like experimenting with creativity. Cray Cosplay is just kind of like just like a mashup sort of like my username, my gamer tags like in the past. Like I usually have done some sort of like Cray Kit Kat, Crystal Kit Kat, etc., etc. Cray Carreri, because like Carreri is my last name, was like a nickname as like a kid too. My like parents used to like say that about our family and stuff, so that's kind of part of it too. So I just kind of thought it was like a cute name, basically.
It works really well. It flows, and I feel like it fits you perfectly. So hey,
bless you, little nuts.
So as you said, you liked fabrication and making things. What was it that drove you to want to cosplay? Was there any specific inspiration or like a moment that just kind of like drew you into it and like you knew you're like, I wanted to do this?
I've always kind of been like a costume fanatic, like growing up. My mom's an interior designer and she's like really big on like DIY, and like she used to dress me up in like little costumes growing up and stuff. So like when I was like 2 years old, she like went all out and like made me like a Sailor Moon costume and like stuff like that, which is like super cute.
I love Sailor Moon so much.
Same. So like yeah. Pardon?
I wanted to grow up to be Sailor Moon when I was a little kid.
Me. I think Mercury is still my favorite. So Jupiter is like who I always wanted to be, especially because she was like the tall bad bitch, and I was like, me.
And she can cook.
That's the big one.
Damn.
That's the real big one. So like in high school, like I like I said, like we had like a really big group of like just nerds. We were like 40-50 people. We would basically like get the like really cheap like group tickets that Anime North like used to offer back in the day, and we would just like kind of like dressed up. I hadn't really heard of Anime North at the time. Like I said, like I was just kind of getting into cosplay. I was like really new to it. I was like I think I was 14 when I went my first cosplay. It was like Kakuzu from Naruto, because like I was really big into Naruto at the time, like specifically the Akatsuki. So it was like this like little 14-year-old girl like running around as like a 91-year-old man. It was like really fun. Yeah. That's kind of how I guess I got into it. And then I've always, like I said, like I've always been really big into like fabrication and stuff. I like went to school at like Ryerson University for architectural sciences, and then like I graduated recently actually with a thank you so much. I'm very happy to be unemployed.
I know, same. I feel that.
But like on the bright side, like I've been able to like work on like props and stuff and like new things. But I also graduated with like a minor in fabrication, so like I've just always really been into like making things, I guess.
Fair enough. That's usually kind of what kicks it off. So when was it that you started to do cosplay more regularly? Like, did you figure that out in the high school? You went to Anime North and you're like, I'm doing this every year? Or was there like a little bit of a gap? Like, when was it that you were like, I'm going to try and do this as much as possible?
Definitely, like there was definitely a big gap. Like I started, like I said, like I started when I was 14. I like kind of did it on and off again. I think when I was like Anime North and Fan Expo were like the two main cons I've ever really been to, that and the Hamilton one. That was like recent. But back in the day, like I went as like Caitlin, I think, like Caitlin when I was like 16, 17. And then when I got into university, because my like degree was like pretty demanding for me, like I just kind of like couldn't really make cosplays, and like I couldn't make costumes, and I kind of took a bit of a break from cons as well. So like I really only started taking it I guess like more seriously like last year, and I've been really big into like I've always wanted to make really big builds. Like I really look up to like people like Little Gem, like Vulpin props, Punish props, etc. Like I'm just really big into like really big builds, and like I'm working on one right now, and like I want it to be like a really big boy. I'm kind of thinking about entering the Fan Expo like cosplay contest. I was gonna do it this year, but I'm gonna do it the year after, I think.
Yeah.
So
I feel that. I'm very excited, and we'll ask you a little bit more about that later on as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And you mentioned that you went to Ryerson for fabrication and things like that. Have you been able to take that knowledge and bring that into your cosplay as well, or and vice versa, cosplay into your education as well?
Absolutely. Oh man. So what I will say is like we had a lot more easier access to materials because like model building was like a really big thing. I took a couple of courses called like digital tools, and a lot of that involved like working with Arduinos, LEDs, 3D printing. I worked with a KUKA arm, which is like a robotic arm for like drilling and CNC machines, stuff like that. So a lot of that stuff was like really useful for me to learn because I think I can really bring that into my prop making. On top of that, like my school offered different like accessibilities to like certain things that I normally wouldn't be able to get if I wasn't in this program. Like I could 3D print for free. My university offered a bunch of really cheap machines. If you're at Ryerson, 100% would recommend the DME, which is in like the Student Learning Center, because they do offer free 3D printing times, even if whether you're a student, or I think sometimes you can use it even if you're not, or like you can use like the Toronto Public Library as well, if you want to get into that, which is like super great. Like I think it's like such a good time to be a cosplayer right now, to be quite honest, because like there's so many like sources for construction and like materials, and like Michael's recently introduced like cosplay materials like Warbler and stuff. But like I get student discounts and stuff, and we have this huge workshop that I like lived in in my school. So we had, like I said, like we had a lot more accessibility to like materials, and I think it's definitely been really good because like I'm adding LEDs to like my current big build, and like I have like a little bit of experience with Arduinos, but this has definitely helped. It definitely helped me for sure.
That's pretty cool. I like that. And having all of these resources, as long as we're like the internet and technology, tutorials and patterns are becoming so much more easy to find.
Oh my God. So it's so good. Like Kamui Cosplay, like bless her books.
Kenpatsu.
Oh yeah.
Head patterns. His.
Oh my God. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's such a good time to be a cosplayer. Like it's so much fun, and like there's just everybody's out here helping each other, and it's just my favorite thing. It's my favorite thing.
Right, exactly. And speaking about the cosplay community, regularly, now that you're a part of the cosplay community much more frequently. There we go. How do you feel about really becoming a part of the cosplay community? Like, are there some expectations that you had versus the reality? Are there pros? Are there cons? Like, how did you perceive it from outside and then coming into it?
Oh man, so I don't really know if I had like a huge like big expectation. I would kind of argue that I'm more of just like a kind of go with the flow person, I suppose. So like I didn't really have like really big expectations. I just kind of came in expecting it to be kind of exactly what the community is, which is just a bunch of nerds running around in costumes that for the most part like they made themselves, or maybe they didn't, like whatever their vibe is, whatever they want to do. Like I think it's like great that it's become so like more mainstream, I guess. Like it's become like really like common to like be a nerd, and like, you know, like back in school I was very like kind of quiet about like my little nerd things, and now I'm very like find like I'm very much more open about it, right? Like it's just so much more accepted, and you know, you have so many platforms that cosplayers like are like have now to like produce their craft and like expand, and it's like I would say it's like it's pretty much like what I kind of expected. Like you do have like your cons, like you're sometimes cons, like sometimes you do get like people who I find like take it maybe like a little bit like too seriously. I just think it's like a really good expression just to like show up and like have a good time and like party and stuff, and I try not to take it super seriously, and like I just want to be like have a good time. I just want everybody to be like warm with each other, you know, like bopping, party a little bit. It's a good time.
Exactly. At the end of the day, we're all nerds running around
Yeah,
in
exactly.
a very large building in costumes.
Exactly. And like it's just I think that people just really need to like relax. Enjoy.
Yeah.
Enjoy. Have a
Not
good
that there's
time.
anything wrong with competition and, having
That's
that motivation.
absolutely not. No.
Because
Absolutely not too.
right, because as you said, you want to try and do some competition, and I actually was planning on doing the Anime North one this year as well, which did not happen.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I think that's
nice to kind of like grade your cosplay, get a feel for what you need to improve.
exactly. I think like having like that friendly like competition is very important too. Like I think it's very important to realize that like not everybody's in it for competition. You know, like even the people who are in it for the competitive nature, like I think that they're like doing their thing and like they're like gonna reach for the stars and it's gonna. I'm just like very excited about cosplay. Period. I think everybody's just doing their thing. I'm just like I'm happy about it.
Exactly. Why not? Now, we talked about your background, we talked about some experiences, we talked about your school, bringing that into and the community and things like that. I would like to know a little bit more about your fun creative makeups that you put on Instagram, because I know you've done some really cool aesthetically pleasing stuff.
Thank you.
Same with like your clicker mask. I know that as soon as I saw that, I was like, how do you make that clicker mask? Because I've wanted to do a clicker for like,
oh my God. It's actually super easy. It's actually not that hard. Do you want to see it? It's right here.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I love that clicker mask so much because like
kind of like
it looks so crazy cool.
Thank you. This is kind of like I'm in my like little like studio space, I guess. This is like my nerd space. Ta-da!
See,
so
that just looks so cool with the teeth and like the coloring. Now that's expanding foam, isn't it?
Yeah, so like there's a bunch of tutorials that I kind of saw online, and from what I saw, most people who have done like clicker cosplays in the past have just done it using this method. I made like a face cast so that it would make it a little bit easier for me to like sculpt things to my face. So I just basically like put some like Vaseline on it, sprayed it with spray foam, popped it off, and then carved it as I needed it to be. And then I actually I've been buying like it's like Montoy. It's like a kind of a knockoff of like a clay foam. It's definitely not smooth as like professional clay foam, but like it's a really cheap alternative. It's like $4 for like a package of like 5 of those little things from like the dollar store, and I use that to like mold the gums, and then the teeth you can just like literally look up like human teeth on Amazon and those
and they just give you a bunch. It's the same with like acrylic nails, right?
Yeah, exactly. And then I just like tied a string to the back, and it actually wasn't a really bad build. It's like it's pretty user friendly, I would argue.
That's pretty cool. That might be a good way for some people to start off doing prop work as well, because it's a little bit less expensive, it's smaller, and it's multi-purpose. You could use that for Halloween as well. Probably
cosplay doesn't have to be expensive, right? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't see out of it, but like it's cute for the look.
good for some photos. Maybe less so trick-or-treating.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely not walking worthy. But
exactly. And you mentioned that you as a cosplayer, you really like the big builds. I'm pretty on par with that as well. I like the big builds. So in contrast to making a cosplay, do you prefer armor or sewing?
Definitely armor. I like sewing actually. Like I've been like practicing. I'm kind of like, like why buy it when I can either like make it myself or like support like a more smaller business. So like I've been like sewing a lot of my own clothes and stuff like that. So like I do enjoy sewing, but like for cosplay, I'm just like so fascinated with like how people can turn like a flat piece of foam into like a huge like big build, and like I just love feeling like a warrior and like wanting to beat people up and stuff. Like loving.
You feel very big. Like I am very small. People are always very surprised to see me in person without my armor, because when I wear my armor, it almost like it makes you have that big aura. You just feel large and in charge.
And you feel so confident too. Like when you feel like a badass bitch, like you work. Oh, am I allowed to swear here?
He'll bleep it out. Don't worry.
Okay. I wasn't sure, but like you feel like a badass bitch like when you're wearing a big suit of armor, and like I think that's one of my favorite things about cosplay too, is that just wearing your costume, like people like just gain so much confidence when they're in it. Like you feel like a totally different person, and like it just brings out like the best in you. I think like you just feel like a total like badass walking around in that thing. And like that's why I think I like armor. One of the big reasons why I like armor so much.
I agree fully. Even though, you know, at the end of the day, you're dying and sweating and.
Though I have heard that people will use like icy hot packs and they'll like put it in their armor. And I'm like, I need to try that because like that sounds like, because like I am one sweaty boy on the best of days.
Oh God, same. I feel that. Now you mentioned that you went to Anime North and that you were looking into doing competition at Fan Expo. Do you have a favorite convention that you like to attend to the most?
Ooh, I would probably say just Anime North, just because that's the one that I've attended the most. Like since like that's my first con, that was like my first like real like anime experience, and like I have been to more Anime North, events more so than Fan Expo. I like Fan Expo can be like really big and intimidating to me sometimes too. Like there's a lot of people. I also personally I found out like the prices are a little expensive for me. Like in terms like it's I just find like a lot of my friends are more inclined to go to Anime North than they are to Fan Expo. I do like Hamilton Con Bravo, though I think that's I think they're stopping running it, I've heard. Which is a shame because like Hamilton it's like a really nice like tiny con too, and I really want to go to YetiCon. I've never been to YetiCon yet.
You will love YetiCon. Oh my God. You will love YetiCon. It's so much fun. That's probably my new favorite convention to go to is YetiCon because everyone's just there to literally have a good time. That's it. And it's great.
I vibe.
Right? A good vibe. I bop. I also have a hold of Anime North has a very special place in my heart. That was my
I agree. I agree.
It's bigger, you have more space. But the sunburn, Anime North sunburn is real.
Oh man, my Caitlyn cosplay, I had like this really like because I have like straps and stuff on my arm. I have like the like these weird like tan lines. It was so dark at some point that like somebody thought it like a couple people thought it was a tattoo when I went to work. It was so funny. Oh man, I feel that.
With my body paint of the mosaic on my Brahm shoulder because I was outside for the entire day. And
that's like a cool like.
Yeah,
like, I would be like, yeah, that is a
really
tattoo.
Cool. People thought it was a tattoo, and I was like, nope, just a suntan, and they were like, okay,
work.
So you talked about your favorite conventions. Do you have to commute a lot for conventions? How's that experience in contrast to like a home convention, and which one do you prefer a little bit more?
Okay. I would still prefer Anime North. I almost like think the Trek is like a really cool like road trip personally. Like you just load up the car and like you just kind of like I don't know sing a Tupperware party all the way there. I don't know.
Right?
like
Pop on I think those anime opening theme songs.
Hell yeah, dude. I've been listening to you know BNA.
Yes.
Oh my God, the opening is like Mamma Mia, so good. So good. So well, like I don't mind the commute. I'll like go anywhere. I like road trips. They're fun. Home is like kind of fun too because then it's like all right, cool. Like I'm sweaty. I've had a good time. I get to go home and I don't have to travel like an hour. So that's nice.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about a messy hotel room.
That's true.
Just a messy house.
Oh man, I'm like sitting in my own filth right now.
That's why I moved over here and not in my cosplay corner. I was doing resin pouring, so.
Good call. Ooh, show me that later.
Yes. So in contrast to the conventions, of course, with the conventions being more so canceled this year, what are you looking forward to working on for the upcoming convention season? Any cosplay plans?
I do. I have a couple of like smaller ones that I'm kind of working on. But my big boy, my RuneScape RS3 cosplay is like my big one that I'm working on. I'm like going full ham on that. That's going to be my really big boy cosplay. I'm adding LEDs, I'm adding smoke machines. I'm going really, really hard for this one.
That's going to be so cool. That's really...
I have the helmet if you want to see it real quick. It's not done yet though, but...
Always, yes. And you're using foam as your main medium?
Oh yes. I personally prefer foam just because it's like really easy to like come by. In comparison to Warbler. You can find it for like, again, like cheap alternatives, right? Like you can find like the mats and whatever. Can I reach? I can. Here we go. So this is it so far.
It looks so pretty. Look at all the texturizing on that too.
Thank you. Wow. I'm very excited to finish it. I I'm so happy because I hate wigs with like a burning passion. I like am not a wig person. I honestly like respect people who like make. You're actually pretty good at wigs too. Like I respect that hardcore. That's a craft, man.
I try.
But
I'm getting better. We learn.
Exactly. Like that's learn new mediums. You just like learn how to do all of the things. It's very exciting to me. But yeah, so like all of this is like foam and then dremeling, and yeah, this is like a lot of foam clay. I'm using a lot of foam clay for this project, but I'm very excited about it.
All of the details, right? So and the knots and stuff of the wood, foam clay is just gonna be great.
So good. I live for details. I live for that stuff.
Me too. It's one of my favorite things. It's the same with painting, doing all of the weathering.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Like finishing touches.
Adding that black wash.
So good.
I'm actually learning how to use like an airbrush too. So like I'm like upping my professional game, I guess.
I have a little
excited
compressor, but I was not smart and I decided to try and cheat the system and use acrylic paint in my airbrush. Don't do that. That
do that too. It's okay.
So clogged. Now I need a new one. I need a new airbrush spout. Yeah.
I did try that myself. I like just took it apart and like I tried to clean it really, really well. If you use like airbrush cleaner, that helps. Yeah, airbrush medium was a good buy.
Yeah,
it was a very good buy.
Need to do that. Just need to get the airbrush medium now. And of course, you know, do you have any advice to give to anyone who might be interested in cosplaying and joining the community?
I mean, like most importantly, like have a good time. Like if that's what you're in it for, like start off with having a good time, meet a lot of people along the way. If you're looking for it more competitively, like, you know, I still think like even if you're doing it from like a competitive perspective, like be kind, be nice, you know, like we're all in it for a good gaggle of laughs and a good time still. So like I don't know, just be nice. In terms of like actual crafting though, like there's so many resources at your fingertips. Like you don't have to spend like hundreds of dollars on like a really big build. Like you can like there's this one guy I've been following on TikTok. I really have to get his name because holy crap. And he just makes like the most amazing builds and like weapons and stuff out of just cardboard. And it's like you don't need really expensive materials. I wish I knew his name. I'm so sad. But like
that's okay. Send it to us forward and maybe we can do a feature or something.
Absolutely. Like you don't need expensive stuff, honestly. Like just get started. Don't get dejected either if it doesn't turn out how you want it to. Like maybe you're a wizard unlike me and you just come out with like the perfect cosplay. I mean, I'm jealous, but like I honestly like love that. But like, yeah, just like don't get too dejected. Don't take it too seriously. Have a good time.
Have fun. We're all human.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. I love that. Well, thank you so much for your time and coming on here and
thank you for
sharing your experience with us as well and with everyone who's watching. So let us know, are there any handles where we can follow your journey of your wonderful big build?
Yeah, absolutely. At Cray Cosplay on Instagram is like my main thing. If you want to follow my personal account too, I'm at Cray Kit Kat. If you would like to. I'm not as active on that as my cosplay account though, so I guess just follow that one.
Good to know. Well, thank you so much. And thank you everyone for joining us back here at the Lunchbox. Please make sure to like and subscribe and follow all of our social medias. And if you're interested, you could follow me too at Quirkyowl Cosplay on Instagram, but no pressure. Thank you everyone. Thank you, Cray Cosplay, and I hope everyone has a wonderful day. Bye.
Bye.